What's up, YouTube? What's up, YouTube? It's your boy back with another one. People, in today's video, we want to discuss the 5 things that keep the DA in power in the Western Cape. Those 5 things are good governance, tourism, infrastructure development, business acumen, and service delivery. People, let me know what you think about this topic in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know we family, right? Holler. People, the DA has long been regarded as a racist party by many people in South Africa because of their policies. And a lot of people agree with that sentiment that the DA is a racist party based on the fact that the top leadership is mainly white people. At one stage, the top was only white people. And they have tried by all means to dispel those sentiments, those rumors, and those beliefs, right? By hiring Fusi Maimani, Patricia DeLo, well, not hiring, but partnering with, you know, black and colored people. And then, putting people like Dan, what was his name? Can't think of his surname now, but Dan Plateau. Dan Plateau as in as a mayor as well, and various other people, to try and make themselves a multi-party government, so to speak, right? And the truth is that the DA, as much as I always give them credit for saying they are a well-governed party, they have all the structures in place to rule nationally. They have the financial backing, they have the financial muscle, they have the business acumen, they know how to attract investment, they have good international relations with most of the Western countries. And if needs be, if the DA has to somehow one day rule the country nationally, it's only obvious that more investment will pour in, more westernization, more support from the West. And it, it's just a given, right? But the main reason why the DA has the stranglehold on the Western Cape is predominantly because of one thing. It's not because they have good governance. It's not because they know how to rule. It's not because they are the least corrupt or anything of that nature. That's not fundamentally why the DA has a stranglehold on Cape Town, to be precise, in the Western Province. The truth of the matter is, the Western Province, the politics within the Western Province, is unlike the politics in the rest of the country. The only logical sense is that the DA is not ruling based on merit, right? Although I must say, they are good at what they do. We cannot dispute that, right? As I always say in all videos where I talk about the DA, Cape Town is consistently voted the best run metro in the country, with all of its failures, with all of its shortcomings, with all of its uh, negatives, with all of its downsides. Cape Town still ranks as the best run municipality. So, if Cape Town, with its negatives, is the best run municipality, how bad are the other metros? That's the thing we need to look at, right? So, what makes the DA have this stranglehold on Cape Town and the Western Cape? The answer is in race politics. And what causes race politics? People everywhere in the country will tell you that everywhere else in the country, people assimilate, people accept, people blend, people bond much easily than in the Western Cape. Cape Town is cliquey. If you don't have a clique, then Cape Town is very difficult for you to navigate for friendships because it's clique based. Now, most people don't understand that that's how Cape Town is. It's not easy to make friends in Cape Town, like, because Cape Town is very cliquey. People move around in cliques. Once you find your tribe, once you find your clique, then you're off to the races. If not, you will struggle. That's what most people will tell you, and it's true. But the real reason why I'm saying the DA has this stronghold on the Western Cape is that it's race based politics. Colored people are traditionally and historically known to be favored, if I put it that way, by the white people over black people. And it's been like that worldwide. For even if you look at the history of slavery, you'll see that it was always the slaves that were born out of the white man and the black woman whose child will then get preferential treatment over the slaves who have both African parents, right? That is the history of the slave trade, right? And that has morphed and continued to grow to this very day that lighter skinned people will always get preference, always darker skinned people, and that colored people will always get preference over black people. So you can be light skinned and black, but if you are not colored, then you will be overlooked. So in most cases, it's the colored people who are lighter skinned than the black people. I am not saying that there are no black people who are lighter skinned than colored people. Not all coloreds are light skinned, and not all black people are dark skinned. So, if by nature you are a dark skinned colored person, but because you speak Afrikaans or because you speak with a different accent, you speak more like a with a almost white accent compared to a black person who's light skinned but speaks with a real African tone, you will get preference. Just like if you have straighter hair, you'll get preference. If you have a lighter skin tone, you'll get preference. And that's just the way the world works, right? The closer you are in proximity to whiteness, the more favored you'll get. Okay. So, and like I said, the DA, they've done a lot of good things, but they also do bad things. But in the Western Cape, the colored people overlook the bad things that the DA do, right? So, for example, colored people always vote for the white party because coloreds don't want to be ruled by blacks. That's just a fact. The coloreds really just don't. It's not. They. A lot of people tell you it's not racism. It's just preference. It's just the culture. I mean, it's just hard to be ruled by people who don't know how to rule. You know, and that's the main reason why the DA gets to hold onto the Western Cape for all this time. That is, and a lot of people debate that because that's now even causing division within the colored community because every time the DA does something wrong or neglects the colored areas, right? The coloreds that vote for the ANC and the EFF, for example, will always point out to the stupidity, to the ignorance of the coloreds who keep voting DA no matter what. So my thing to the DA is this: knowing that your support base, your core support base, is in the colored community, I think the DA should be doing more in the colored communities than they do for everybody else. Because if we take all the white people in the Western Cape and they all vote for the DA, I don't think their numbers will match up to the numbers that the coloreds vote for the DA. Yes, there are black people that also vote for the DA too. Let's not forget that, you know. But the core support base of the DA comes from the colored community. That's their core support base. So it's only right that the DA pays homage to the colored people by providing um, security, providing facilities for children like parks and things to play with, and what's the word? Infrastructure for the kids to play with after school, get rid of crime, and to listen to what their core support base, so to what their core support base is crying about. You see, the sad thing about this is that you will vote people into power who actually really don't care about you up until they need your vote. And then after they get your vote, they disappear. Now, the DA can hit back and say, but they do a lot in the colored areas. And then you'll ask yourself, okay, like what? And they can say they were doing soup kitchens, they do blanket runs, they donate shoes, they donate that. It's all good and well. But there's major problems that need urgent attention. And those things are crime prevention. Now, we know you cannot get rid of crime. We totally understand that. But what we're asking is that you can have more police visibility. You can help curb gang violence. You can help curb the flow of weapons and drugs into the communities. Surely you have the, like, what do you do in the in the upper areas, in the affluent suburbs? How come there's no crime there? So how about the government help set up private security along with the residents in the areas? So we have private armed securities patrolling all the colored communities. Wouldn't that be something? Working in conjunction. It's not like the government just does everything. You work in conjunction with the communities. Because I can tell you now, the communities that vote for the DA, I'm talking about the colored communities, right? They are fed up when it comes to crime. They really are crying out for help because they are held hostage in their areas. And the least that the government could do is help set up private public partnerships. It doesn't have to be a private security company. It has to be a private public partnership. So where you're getting the residents involved with the government, supplying them with weapons, defense classes, and anything that needs to go to defend and to get rid of crime within their areas. A good example is how the affluent suburbs got rid of the drug dealers in their areas, right? Now the dealers used to live and operate in the areas. Now most of those dealers have moved out of those areas because they were pushed out. But then they come from other areas to go and deliver the drugs. There's a difference, right? Instead of having the drugs within your community, the drugs have to come from somewhere out to a specific house to deliver. There's a major difference a to having dealers living in your area, whereas having dealers moving out and having to supply people back in the area. You understand what I mean? And it was all due to private companies being set up by those affluent suburbs to get rid of the dealers. It was a collective effort. Now, obviously, the majority of the colleges in Cape Town and the Western Cape do not have the budgets that the affluent suburb has to set up private companies, private security companies to defend the areas. They don't have the budgets for that, right? But what I'm saying is the DA can assist simply by supplying the basic training and equipment so that the people can defend their own areas. That's what the people really need. That's the biggest thing. If they can assist the colored people with crime, that would be a big thank you, a big nod to say, we see you, we do this for you. But instead, it looks like they are left to their own devices. And then when it's time for votes, you see the DA again. And that is the big problem within the colored community. Some coloreds will swear that the DA is racist towards the colored people and to the black people, obviously. And the other colors will tell you that, well, we can't see anyone ruling here because everyone messes up. And they'll point to other provinces as proof. And you cannot argue with that, can you? No. So if you look at it now, the Zionists are coming in as we speak now. They're buying up companies, they're buying up properties, they're buying up everything. Very soon, Zionism is going to be prevalent in Cape Town as we speak, right? And as colored people, we don't mind. We don't mind. Buy up whatever you want to buy up. Give us our, just give us what's due to us. We want crime prevention. We want land back. We want things that give the colored people their dignity back. Is that too much to ask for? I don't think so. If you look at the amount of years the colored people have kept the DA in power, I would think that by 2025, the colored people who would have been more empowered by the party that has kept them in power for so long. But that's not the case. And why is that not the case? You see, the DA has other major priorities on their books, and that is to keep the investors, the tourists, the businesses happy because that is where the DA's focus is on. It is not on the colored people at all. The colored people only come to the front or to the top of mind when it's election time because that's where the DA knows is their core support base. Now, I could be wrong on this. Maybe you could challenge me on what I've just said now, but what I honestly think and what I honestly do know, because I live in the colored communities, the support for the DA is not going to die anytime soon. It may be dwindling, but the DA still got a good maybe 5 to another 10 years before they dwindle to less than 50%. That's just the honest truth. There is radical racism in politics when it comes to voting in the Western Cape. There are people that just simply vote simply because it's white, nothing else. Just because they're white, that's all. They will not be ruled by a black person. And that's predominantly the majority vote that happens in the Western Cape. It's got nothing to do with merit. It's got nothing to say like, oh, the DA does this and the DA does that. Most people don't care about what the DA does and does not do because they live in areas where they don't see any, any improvement, any assistance, any help, any, I don't know what you want to call it. They don't see anything. And they'll still go and vote for the DA. And which is sad because as much as you hate to be ruled by someone who doesn't look like you or look something that you would think is higher than you keep voting for people that just don't care for you. And they just care for what they care about. I'm not saying that the ANC cares for everybody, or I'm not advocating for the ANC at all, but it's just that when you vote, you need to vote on merit. You need to vote for people that are going to do for you and not just, oh, look what they do in the other areas. Our area looks better because it's not about other areas. The other areas, that's why they have voting stations, and that's why you have voting stations in your area. You need to vote on merit and not vote according to race. That's my take on things, guys. I don't know if you agree with me or not. So let me know if I was on the money or if I totally missed it with this one. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know we family, right? Holler.